We will start with Modulepool programming. This is also called as dialog programming. Modulepool programming is also called as dialog programming. In this Modulepool programming, we will try to design our own screens. Generally, till now we have seen many screens in SAP. When you go to some certain transactions, if you go to SE38 transaction, you can come across some screen where you need to enter a program name and then click on a display. When you enter SE11 transaction, you will come across a different screen. So by using the Modulepool programming, you can design all such screens. Now let us see what is a transaction means. Technically, a transaction is nothing but a set of screens. Any transaction will have set of screens which will serve particular purpose. For example, take the transaction SE38. SE38 is a transaction which is used for creating a program. So how many screens it has? If you recall, in the first, what we will do, we will give a program name, then that is the first screen, then we will click on a display. Then what will happen? You will go to another screen, that is the ABAP editor, where you will write a code. Once your code is finished, you will execute. Then one more screen comes up, so that is your selection screen, where you will provide the inputs and then finally execute. One more screen comes up. So any transaction, if you take SE38 or any other transaction is nothing but set of screens which will fulfill a particular purpose. It may be creating a program, it may be creating a material or something else. So now when we are doing a Modulepool program, we will see how can we design our own screens. And remember here, screen, when I am speaking, every screen is a combination of layout and flow logic. Take any screen in SAP, it has two things. One is layout, another one is flow logic. We will see what is this layout, what is this flow logic. Layout means it's a GUI part which will appear to the end user. Graphical user interface. That means it's a screen. Layout means nothing but a screen. So here you will decide where my input field should be, where my button should be. So all these things you will decide while designing the layout. Flow logic. What is the flow logic? Flow logic means it's nothing but a programming sequence or programming logic. What should happen when you click on a particular button, or what should happen when particular screen is called. So this sort of logic will be written in the flow logic. In normal reporting, we have come across several events, right? We have seen initialization, start of selection, end of selection, and so on. In the same way, when you are doing Modulepool programming, in the flow logic, there are some events. So there are some events in the Modulepool programming also. The events are PBO. This is called process before output. PAI. So this is also another important event, that is process after input. These two events are called mandatory event. Each and every screen should have these two events. Similarly, we have two more events, that is POV, process on value request, POH stands for process on help request. So there are four important events which you should remember when you are doing module pool programming. So POV and POH, these two events are optional. PBO, PAI are mandatory events. Each and every event can contain certain set of modules. In normal programming, in normal report programming, what we will do, in a start of selection we will write some subroutines, in end of selection we will write another set of subroutines, and so on. But here in the module pool programming, each and every event can have modules. So instead of perform, here I will say module get data. So I will use a module instead of a subroutine. Each and every event will have set of modules. Inside a module you can write your code. Similarly, PAI also can have a module, POV can also have a module, POH can also has its own modules. What is a module means? Module means again it contains some set of code, something like your subroutine. And what about this POV and POH, process on value request, process on help request? If you concentrate on these terms, value request, help request, we also have a similar kind of events in our report programming. That is at selection screen on value request, at selection screen on help request. Why we are using this at selection screen on value request? Can you recall why we have used these events? Value request at selection screen on value request is for providing our own F4 help, and help request is for providing our own F1 help. In module pool programming also, when you are using these two events, POV and POH, purpose is same. So to provide, if you want to provide your own F4 help and F1 help, you have to use these events. So let us summarize what we discussed till now. In module pool programming, generally we will create our own screens. We will design our own screens, and we will make a program with some set of screens. For example, in my program I have some 3-4 screens. Finally, I will create a transaction for that. SAP also has some set of transactions, something like SE38, something like SE80. All these transactions are nothing but set of screens. Every screen has layout and flow logic. Layout means it's a GUI. While designing the layout, you will decide how the screen looks for the user, where you have to put radio buttons or input fields or whatever. A flow logic means this is the logic you will write for the screen, so that when you click on a particular button, what should happen, or when the screen is loading up, when the screen appears for the first time, what should happen. All these things you will write inside the flow logic. In the flow logic, you have these 4 events. In the flow logic, you will provide these 4 events and you will write the logic. So under each event, you will write modules. Instead of subroutines, you will write modules. Inside a module, if required, you can write a subroutine. That is a different case, but under this events, you cannot write subroutines. You should write a module. Okay, so with this small introduction, I will take you to module pool programming. So now we will see practically how to create a module pool programming. Log into SAP. Generally, we can create module pool programming through SE80 or SE38 also. I feel SE80 is more comfortable, so I will always go to SE80. I'll go to the transaction SE80. Here I'll create a program. So here, as of now, package is there. Click on this drop box, select a program. Here I will say Narayan or something underscore some mpool1 module pool program 1, for example. Click on a display button here. There is a display button. Click this. SAP says this program not available. Shall I create it? Yes. We would like to create this. And SAP is asking one more question to us. Do you want to create your module pool program with a top include? So just we will try to recall the concept of includes. What are all the includes? Includes can contain some piece of code which can be included inside the main program. So includes are not executable by themselves, right? So generally when the data declarations are more, then those data declarations are placed inside the top include. Similarly, you can place all the subroutines in one include. Like that. By using this includes, you can segregate the code. So now here SAP, what it is asking, okay, you are creating this program. Do you need a top include for this? Do you wish to declare all your data declarations inside this top include? Yes, okay, create it. But this is optional. If you don't want, you can uncheck this checkbox. So SAP will create a program for you without top include. If you uncheck this, it will not create a top include for you. But I want a top include, so I check this, continue. Then SAP is asking, you have chosen to create a top include, then please provide me the name of the top include. With which name you want to create this top include? I want to create this top include with this name. So provide the top include name, continue. You can see the type of the program by default is coming here as a module pool. Previously we have seen executable, we have seen include, we have seen function group. Now we are into module pool. I'll click on save it in a local object for the time being. Okay, my program is saved. Now if you look at here, this is my program name. My program name is Jadnaran_mpool1, which has an include whose name is Jadnaran_mpool1_top. So my program has a top include. So when I double click on this program, on the right side here, my program code will appear. See, when I double click here, the program code is appearing. So it has some code, some include name, which is nothing but a top include. Just now we have created this top include. Similarly, I will also create another 3 includes. As of now, these 3 includes are commented. It's not yet created. So I want to create another 3 includes. One is for PBO, another one is for PI, another one is for form routines. So whenever I'm writing some code for PBO related things, then I will always choose this include. Whenever I'm writing some code for PI related things, then I will choose this. What is the form routines? Inside this modules, if I have some subroutines which are beginning with the perform form statements, whenever you have some perform form statements, I will use this include. Remember, PBO include has O here, right? PBO has O. This include has O here. The naming convention is here the O is there, here also O. PI, here I is there, here also I is there. So that's how you can remember which include belongs to which event. Similarly, form routine, here F, here is also F, form routine include. Fine, so now I will uncomment all these includes. I'll try to create all these includes now. I will uncomment first all these includes. Okay. Now I would like to create the other includes. How to create top include I have already created. When I want to create other includes, double click on each and every include. So that you can create the includes. Server is a bit slow, it is taking time to save. Okay, so now I will double click on this O01 include, that is PBO include, double click on this to create it. SAP says this include not available, create. Shall I create? Yes, create. This is include program, remember, so save it in local object. Just save this include, come back. Similarly, double click on PAI include, create it, save it, local object. Similarly, click on this form routine include, create this include as well. Save it and come back. So now we have one main program. My main program name is Jetnaren MPool1, under which I have 4 different includes. Now the next step is I have to create a screen. So this program, whatever we are doing, this is nothing but a module pool programming. It's also called as dialog programming or screen programming. So I have to create a screen here. How to create a screen? Right click on your main program, create a screen. Every screen will have a number. So provide a number for the screen. Okay, so I will provide some number to the screen. Some 2000 is my screen number. Press enter. So now on the right hand side you can see the screen related properties are coming up. Here what you need to do is you fill the short description of this particular screen. Short description like this is my first screen. There are three various types of screens available. One is called a normal screen, another one is called a sub-screen, something else called modal dialog box. As of now, we are concentrating on normal screens and we will see what is a sub-screen, what is modal dialog box in the future. As of now, we will only concentrate on this normal screen. So what we discussed already, every screen is a combination of layout and flow logic. So this is a screen which we have created, which has a layout option here, which has a flow logic option here. So if we do these two things, then your screen is completed. So now I'll click on this layout option just to show you how it looks like. So when you click on a layout, so this kind of graphical screen painter will open. Here you can design your own buttons, your own text. For example, if you want to put some text over here, then here there is an option T. T stands for text field. Click this text field, put it over this screen. So give your own text here. Text means something like calculator or something. So give some sort of text. Save this. How to put input fields, how to put buttons, I'll come again and show you how to put, but as of now, because the text display is very easy, just click on this text, drag and drop over here, double click on that. Okay, so when you double click on any field, the properties will open on the right hand side. Here you need to provide the text. Okay, I have given here calculator and save my screen and go to the flow logic. As of now, the flow logic has two events: process before output, process after input. In fact, there are four events, but these two are mandatory events, PBO and PAI. So that's why only these two will appear by default. PBO means process before output, PAI means process after input. So now I have created a screen. I save my program, then I will right click, save my program, check my program and activate my program. See, when you are activating Modulepool program, I always recommend double click on the main program, right click and activate. Never ever activate on this. Don't click on this button, because what will happen when you activate on this button, only the particular object will be activated. For example, I am inside, you may be inside some include. When you are inside this include, you try to activate on this button, so only the particular include will be activated. So remaining three includes, your screen, your main program, they will not be activated. So whenever you want to activate the Modulepool programming, which contains many things, right? So this main program contains screens, this main program contains includes and so on. So whenever you would like to activate such kind of program which has several objects inside, always double click on the main program and try to activate it. I'll double click on the main program, right click, activate. When you are activating C, this is your main program. These are all the 4 includes, and this is the screen number 2000 which you have created. All these things are getting activated. Continue. So all includes, main program, screen, everything got activated now. Now let us see how to execute this Modulepool program once it's activated. How you will execute the report program? You will click on the icon on the top right. So this kind of icon you will click. Generally we will click on this icon for executable programs, but this is a Modulepool program. So whether this icon still work for Modulepool program, or do we have a different approach for this? So finally my Modulepool program got activated. Then when I click on this execute button, see what is happening, where it is giving some message to me. It is not giving the output, it is giving a message. What it says, this Modulepool program is not a report program, so it's not an executable program. I cannot click on this button. If you want to execute a Modulepool program, you must create a transaction for this. You must create a transaction. Something like AC38 is a transaction which is executing some particular program. In the same way, now you need to create your own transaction. How to create? Right click on this program and say create transaction. Give some name to this. Some sort of description, and here choose the first radio button, program and screen. This is a dialog transaction. Continue. Here you need to provide the program name. My program name is this. My program name is this. Copy and paste it over here. Similarly, my screen number. My screen number is 2000. I have created it already. So take the support from HTML, Java and Windows GUIs. Save it. So now your transaction is also ready. Now you can execute your Modulepool program. So in interviews, they will ask sometimes, can you execute a Modulepool program directly? The answer is no. You have to create a transaction to execute Modulepool program. So now I will open one more session here, and in that session I will provide the transaction znaren_mpool1. This is the new transaction which I have created right now. Press enter. So here see what is coming up. Calculator, which I have provided on the screen level. I have given a calculator, right? So the same thing is coming up here. So remaining input fields, radio buttons, or I want to place something else, then I have to design. I have not yet done it. Similarly, I want a back button, cancel button, or some buttons over here, some menu options. System and help are by default menu options. These will come by default on any screen of SAP. If you look in any screen in SAP, system and help by default, these things are available. So similarly, these buttons also. Except that if you want something else, then you should do it. You should create it and you should put it. So as of now, only the text is getting appeared. Now let us see how to put the remaining fields over here. Let me go to my top include. Generally, I will do the data declarations on the top include, right? So I'll go to the top include. I will do some sort of declarations here. Data num1 type integer, num2 type integer, result type integer. So I'm declaring three variables in the top include. All are data declarations. These are not parameters or select options. Now activate your top include. Don't forget to activate. So I am activating the top include. So now here I'll go to the screen 2000 which I have created. Double click on the screen 2000. In this 2000 I'll go to the layout. So here already we have given a text. So now I want to put num1, num2 result fields over here. So how can I put? Click on this button, dictionary or program fields, click on this button. So here there is an option get from program. Click on this get from program button. So in the program, what are all the variables we have declared? So those variables are coming by default over here. So num1, num2 result. So other things are coming by default. Leave it, not required. So in the system, what are all the other variables we declared? Num1, num2, result. These variables are appearing here. If you forget to activate your top include, this will not appear. So that's why always activate your top include before coming here. Then only these variables will appear. Then continue. So I have three fields. Put it over here somewhere. Now I have to give the description to this, some text to this. So here is my text button, text field. Click on this, drag and drop over here. Double click on this and put the text, provide the text over here. So what text you want to put? I want to say enter num1. Similarly here one more text I will say double click on this, enter num2. Whatever the text you like, you just provide it over here. Double click on this and say here result or something. So here this result box I will select it and I will just drag it, put it somewhere here, the result. So now I will enter two numbers. Assume I will enter num1 as a 10, num2 as a 20. Then I want to put a button here. Button name is sum, for example sum. So when I enter two numbers, click on that sum button. The sum should come in a result. Similarly, I will click on another button, that is subtraction button. Then subtraction should come here. And similarly multiplication, division. For each and everything I would like to put a button. So here I have something called push button. Okay, so I'll drag and drop the push button over here. So this is my first button. Double click on this button. So here the text only I will give a plus symbol. So on the text I can give some big name instead of plus symbol. but I'll give some plus symbol over here. So each and every button has 4-digit unique code. If you remember, while we are doing at user command in our report programming, we have given some buttons on the GUI status, and we have given a 4-digit unique code for each and every button. In the same way, here also in the Modulepool programming also, each and every button has a 4-digit unique code. For this plus button, here there is an option F code. So here you need to provide 4-digit unique code. The unique code here I will say SUMM, sum. Okay. Then similarly, I will put one more button. Just click here, drag and drop over here. Double click on this. Here I want to perform subtraction, so I'll click on this minus. So here I will say subtraction, SUBT. Get one more button here, put it over here. Double click on this. This is for multiplication. MULT. One more button. Double click on this. This is for division. DIVS. So I have created 4 buttons now. Each and every button has its own function key, 4-digit function code, that means. So I have designed my screen. I have given some text, some input fields and results. So these input fields, when I click, this is a num1, if you see, this is num2, and this is result. Okay. So now everything, the screen design part is over. Save your screen and come back to the flow logic. In the flow logic, go to the PAI event. PAI event. Why? Now you may ask me a question. Why PAI event? Why not PBO event? I should write this code. Why means, now I would like to write a code. What should happen if the user click on a plus button or minus button or star button? So you have 4 buttons on screen number 200. So after clicking on a button, what should happen? That is what my intention. After clicking on a button means, after providing some input on the screen, what will happen? So that's why I am choosing this event, process after input. So after providing some input on screen number 2000, when user clicks on a particular button, so I should write code inside this process after input. So in the process after input, I will uncomment this module user command 2000. Double click on this module user command 2000. So SAP says this module is not available, something like subroutine. This module is not available. Shall I create it? Yes, create it. You have so many includes. Where to create? This module belongs to which event? PAI. Right? You have to choose this I include. This I include is created for PAI related code. So choose this I include and then continue. Here you will write case SciUCom. SciUCom is a system variable which stores 4-digit function code of the buttons at the runtime. So if somebody clicks on some button, what should I do? I should say result equal to num1 plus num2. If somebody clicks on the subtraction button, what should I do? I should say result equal to num1 minus num2. Similarly, write all the code for all the 4 buttons here, whatever how many buttons you are placing on the screen level, subtraction and then division, and I think multiplication also we should write in the same way. So division I'll do slash multiplication is star. So like this you place the things in this case statement. So write the logic. When somebody click on some particular button, what should happen? You provide the logic for each and every button. So this logic should be executed after clicking on the button. So that means after providing input on the screen level. So that's why I am writing this code in PAI. Before appearing the screen, that means before the screen number 2000 appears, I should do something more. What is that? Double click on this module. I'll create a module for PBO. PBO module means I should select this include, O include. O include I have created for PBO. So select this PBO include, continue. Here I can do set PF status. Do you remember what is this set PF status? A set PF status is used to set the GUI status. You can provide any sort of description or number or something else here. You can provide any sort of description over here with which your GUI status will be created. What is GUI status? GUI status means you can design your own menu. You can choose which button you should enable, which button you can disable in the standard application toolbar. You can also choose if you want to put some buttons on the custom application toolbar. So now I will double click on this PF status. I'll create a GUI status for my screen 2000. Give some short description, continue. So here in the application toolbar, in the function keys, I will choose that I want only back button, for example. So I'll put only the back button, save it and come back. So when somebody clicked on back button, what should happen? When somebody click on a back button, the previous screen should appear, right? So we have given a back button, but where should I write the code? When somebody is in screen number 2000, he will click on a back button, right? So that is something like giving an input on the screen number 2000. So you have to write the code in the process after input. So go inside this module, and here in the same case statement you can handle this particular back button also. So you can say when somebody click on back button, say leave to screen 0. Leave to screen 0 means in the Modulepool programming, leave to previous screen. Leave to screen 0 means leave to previous screen. So now double click on this main program. In the Modulepool program, whenever you want to activate the total program, so double click on the main program, right click and activate your program. So with this we finished our first program in Modulepool programming. So let us see now how the results are getting appear once the program got activated. There is some syntax error. Let us see. We missed something somewhere. Here if you observe, it is saying screen number 2000 element list line number 6. There is some error. So let us see what happened. Once because I'm activating this all the things, because I have changed already so many include so many screens. Let me activate to the extent possible, and then I'll go and see what exactly the error. I'll go to the screen number 2000 in layout. Do we have some problem? Save me, check the layout. So for each and every button you also provide some names. Okay, so here we forgot to provide the button name. Double click on this, provide the name. For this maybe some, for this maybe subtraction, for this it could be multiplication, for this it could be division, but these are not mandatory to, it's not mandatory to provide a name to a particular button, but as it is showing now some error, provide the name for each and every button, but it's not mandatory. So now let me activate the screen once again. We will double click on the program, try to activate once again and see now it is activating correctly or still it has some problems. Okay, so now it's activated and everything looks fine. So now I want to execute my transaction. So I'll open a new session and open the transaction which I have created, Jetnar and Mpool1, press enter. Here you can see enter num1, enter num2, and there are some 4 buttons. So when I click some numbers over here, click plus, I am getting the result. Similarly, when I click on star, I am getting it. Division, I am getting it. Multiplication, I am not getting. So because the thing is, the integer is not handling the minus symbol, so you are getting the dump. So we should write some sort of code to handle this. So we can see that further, but the basic concept is, in the Modulepool program you will create generally 4 includes, and then you will create a screen. On the screen you will place your input fields, your buttons and so on. So all this input fields, button, text, whatever you require, you will place it. And in the flow logic, there are two events, PBO and PAI. On the screen, when you click on any button or when you click on perform any user interaction, what you want to do, that you will always write in PAI module. Before the screen appears, if you want to perform something, before the screen number 2000 appears to you, in this case, if you want to do something, then you will always do it in module status 2000, which is inside PBO, process before output. Because you cannot execute Modulepool program directly, you have to create a transaction and you have to execute the particular transaction to see the result. Okay, so this is what your basic Modulepool programming. So if you have any questions, you stop me here now and you can ask me. Then further we'll go once you clarify with your questions. What I will do is I'm gonna ask you some questions then. I will open an Excel. Assume my program to next program. Assume in the next program, I'm creating two screens. So this is my first screen. This is my first screen. This is my second screen. This screen number is 2000. This screen number is 3000. This screen has PBO and PAI. This screen also has PBO, PAI, because these events are screen specific. Each and every screen has PBO and PAI events. Okay. So now here I am writing some sort of code, case SIUCOM. If somebody clicked on back button, go to the back previous button, previous screen. If somebody clicks on plus button, minus button, and so on. So here I will say, if somebody clicks on a next screen, so in this screen number 2000, I will put a button called a next screen, go to next screen. So when somebody clicks on this next screen button, I will say here call screen 3000. So then what will happen? In the screen number 2000, when somebody clicked on the next screen button, the call screen 3000 will trigger and the control goes to the screen number 3000. So now screen number 3000 is going to appear you, but before the screen number 3000 appears to you, the code in the PBO of screen number 3000 is to be executed. Before the screen number 3000 appearing in front of you, SAP has already executed the code which is available in the PBO of screen number 3000. So that's how the flow is going up. Similarly, say for example in the PI, in the screen number 3000, I'll click on a back button, for example. When I click on a back button, I should come back to screen number 2000. So when I click on back button, screen number 2000 should appear me. So before it appears to me, the code in the PBO of 2000 has to be executed. Then the screen number 2000 should appear. So process before output means that one, like whenever some screen you are looking, that means already the PBO code of the particular screen is executed, then only that screen is appearing to you. PAI, when it will trigger, when say for example some screen is appearing to you, you press enter, you click back button, whatever you do, PAI of the particular screen will trigger. Clear or still have some doubt?
Ram, see, when you press call screen 3000, okay.
So it should
We write a code in PA.
this screen.
Yeah, we write a code in.
So in the
Okay, we write a code in PA, right?
in the 2000 you clicked on a button. So PAI of 2000 will trigger.
Okay, yeah.
So that is calling the screen number 3000.
2000, yeah.
So before this 3000 appears, PBO of 3000 will trigger.
Okay, I mean some default code will be there in that?
If you write no default code,
Okay.
if whatever the code if you write, that code should trigger before it appears to you.
Then two events will be triggered then, PA of 2000 and PB of 3000, right?
Exactly. If you are understanding that point, you are halfway done. Yes.
So,
Yep.
so actually in PAI we write the logic, right?
PI we write the logic if we are on a particular screen and if you are clicking on any button or doing any user interaction, what should happen? That should be written in PI. Yes.
And PBO is basically an initialization block.
Kind of initialization for the particular screen. So when you click on the back button here, that means because you are in screen number 3000, PAI of 3000 will trigger. Before appearing screen number 2000, PBO of the particular screen number 2000 will trigger. So this is how the flow in Modulepool program will happen. Let us go with the next program now. We are trying to create another program. Let me go to AC80 transaction. So in the first program, if you have some questions or doubts how I have done it, you can follow this program. I'm going to repeat almost same kind of steps. Give here the program name and click on a display to create Modulepool program. So here SAP is asking, do I need a top include? Yes, I need a top include. Continue. So if I need a top include, then what would be the name of it? This is the name I want. Continue. Save it in a local object. So now SAP is creating me a program. SAP has created a program for me now. So this program already has a top include. When I double click on the main program, so another 3 includes which were commented is also there. What we need to do is we need to uncomment these includes and we will try to create them individually. So double click on a PBO include, create it. Save it, come back. I include. Save it and come back. Form routine include also in the same way. Save it and come back. So now we have created all the 4 includes. So now my includes are ready. So what is the next step? You have to create a screen. So right click on the program, create a screen, give a number to this particular screen, give some sort of description to this and save it. So I need to declare some variables in my top include. So I'll double click on the top include. I will say here tables. Any one of the table I will take which we have already created. Z Naren student table, for example. I'll take this. Do you remember what is this tables keyword is doing? We have already seen this table keyword. Tables keyword will create a work area with the same name as that of your database table name. My database table name is Z Naren student. Of course, but now when I declare the database table name along with the tables keyword, then I am getting a work area whose name is also Z Naren underscore student. Okay, so now I'll save it. Activate this. Let me activate this, because if I don't activate, I'm not going to get in the program field. So double click on the main program, right click, activate all the includes. Okay, so now let us go to the screen number 1000. Here let me go to the layout. Click on this button, dictionary program fields. This pop-up comes to you. You can click on this get from program. There is an option here, get from program. So click this. Here your work area, you can see this is your work area and these are the various fields, MNDT, student ID, name, class, all these things. So I will select these fields now. Press enter, put it over here. So I will put somewhere over here. Fine. So now I want to also tell you one more difference. So when I double click on this, what happening? Z Naren student, this is my work area. This is field name. This is student ID. This is my work area name, hyphen. This is a field name. What about this? This is work area hyphen field name. So whatever the fields you are placing on the screen, those are nothing but your work area hyphen field name. So but these are all your work area related fields. Okay, but description is not coming up. So here description is not coming. If you want the description by default, what you can do is, there is one option. If you want description by default, go here, click on this button. Here you will provide the table name. What is my table name? Z Naren underscore student STUD. So this is my table name, and you click on this get from dictionary. What is that table name? Z Naren underscore STUD. Let me check the table name properly. Student DENT. Okay. DENT, get from dictionary. So you can see fields are coming up. Here you can see the description is also coming from the database from the DDS data dictionary level. In the field label we could have already given a description, right? So that description is already coming up here. So now select all these fields and place it. So the description is also coming up now. No need to provide your description. So when you want a description for a field which is already available in DDSE, you can also do in this way. So now here the client, there is something called a client, there is a student ID. Student ID, it looks like work area hyphen field name only, but student name, all these fields looks like work area hyphen field name. You can observe here. Then now what my intention is, I will select these three fields. I will put it over here on the down. Now here I will put a button display. I will provide a student ID STU01. Click on a display button. Then student name, class ID should appear to me. Okay, so I'll click on this button. So for this button I'll give some name. Text is the one which it should appear on the button. So text is, for example, display. I want to give some sort of icon to this because sometimes you can see buttons are having icons in front of them. So click on this icon name here. For display, which kind of icons are there? Just check. There are so many icons here. So display attachment, I don't want this icon. Display folder, I don't want this also. Here you can see icon display is there. I want this icon. Continue. So it appears like this. Some display icon, then display. My first button. For this you need to also give the 4-digit function code, which is very important. DISP I'll give. I will put one more button. This button name I will give as a update button. Text is also I will say update. Function code UPDA I will say. I am not giving any icon. I am not giving any icon to this other buttons because you already know how to put the icon. Then I want to create one more button called clear button. Function code CLEA. I want to put one more button called delete. Function code is DELE. So now what my intention is, if I give a student ID here, click on a display, then my student details should appear. Similarly, user may enter some student ID, student name, class ID, then he click on update. Then that particular data should go and sit in a database table. Your database table should get updated. When I click on clear, some data is already appearing here. When I click on clear, all the data should be gets cleared. Similarly, one student ID I will provide here. Click on a delete button. Then the student ID should get deleted from the database. That's how I want to make use of this. I don't want to provide a client ID. So client ID, if you don't want, select this and delete it. And I don't want to provide a client every time because client is always 800. Delete it. Okay. So similarly, there is something here called box. If you want to put some box, click on this box and provide a box here. Let us see how the box appears. So save it. check it. It's a kind of box selection screen, begin of frame, end of frame will give na. So there will be some box which will appear. In the same way, this box will appear. Now I have checked it. Everything is syntactically correct. Activate your screen and click on flow logic. Now I'll go to the process after input module user command 1000. Double click on this. Where you should create this include? I will create this include in I01. Continue. So here you have to write case syntax, case SciUCom. When somebody clicked on a display button, what you want to do? I want to say perform get data. Double click on this. Now you are going to get a subroutine. Now you choose the F include, form routine include, or write the subroutine inside the form routine include. Here I will write select star all the fields from your database table, that is Jadnar and student, and put it into work area whose name is also Jadnar and student, where STUID equal to, what should I give here? Student ID I will enter on the screen level, right? On the screen I will provide the student ID. So whatever the field is there on the screen level, so that will be stored in my work area STUID, right? Because on the screen level, if you remember, the field name is nothing but work area hyphen field name. So if I enter some value in the student ID field, it will directly store in this work area Jadnar student hyphen student ID. If size of RC equal to 0, no problem. If not equal to 0, then that means if size of RC not equal to 0, we should say a message. We should give a message data not found. Type I. I'm giving an information message. Similarly, I'll come back. So this code we have written for display button. When somebody click on clear button, I should clear my work area. I will say clear work area. That means all the screen fields are getting cleared. When somebody click on update button, UPDA button. So what you should do? Perform update table. How you will update the database table? There are some keywords by which you can update the database tables. Those keywords you can use in any program, not in Modulepool. You can use in executable program anywhere. So how to update the database tables? Say for example, you have some data already available in your work area. Then if you want to update your database table from the work area, then what you can do is, you can say insert your database table from your work area. Here, of course, my work area name is also Jadnar and student. So this is the syntax. So the syntax is insert your database table name from your work area name. There is one more keyword called update database table from work area. Similarly, there is something called modify my database table from my work area. So there are three keywords by which you can update your database tables. What is the difference between these three keywords? For example, I will go to SC11 transaction and try to open this table. If you can see, student 01, 02, 03, 04 are already available. If student 05 is coming, that means if a new key field related record is coming, then I can make use of insert keyword. So when you need to use insert, if your work area has a new key field, that means ST05 or ST06, which is not available, that particular key field, if it is not available in your database table, then make use of insert keyword. Update keyword means already existing key field is there. In this work area, already existing student ID. For that student ID, you are updating other details. For example, for that student ID, he had changed the class. Previously, he is in a first class. Now the same student, he has changed to second class. So you are trying to update. So in that case, make use of update keyword. So when you are using insert, when you are using update, insert keyword is used. So when you are inserting a record into database with new key fields, and when you will use update, update is used to update non-key fields related data for existing record. Hope you got the difference between insert and update. Now what is a modify? Modify, what it will do? Modify can do both. Modify is nothing but insert plus update. That means it will check if you are giving a new key field, then it will create a new record. If you are providing the existing key field and trying to update the non-key fields, it can also do. So modify, if you are using, it can serve both the purposes. So here what I will do is, I will take out this insert and update keywords. I will take out these two. Simply say modify Jednar and student from work area. If size of bar is equal to 0, I will give a message. Database updated. Type I, and if we have one more button called a delete button. When we click on a delete button, perform delete data. Double click on this. I am creating in PAI include, form routine include, because I am creating a subroutine. I am creating this form delete data in a form include. Continue. So here I will say delete my database table from my work area. So this is the same syntax. Otherwise I can also say something like this: delete my database table where student ID is available in my work area hyphen student ID. So this is also possible syntax. You can write delete with where condition also. If size of r is equal to 0, I will give a message data deleted from database, type information, and one more thing is, before deleting I will give a warning message. I will give a warning, data will be deleted, kind of warning message, so that user will think whether to delete or not. So I will say here message data will be deleted from database. So I'll give this message type warning W, if you see here. So this is how I have done my coding. Then when somebody clicks on a back button, so here I will say when somebody click on back button or somebody clicked on cancel button, I will say leave to screen 0. So this back button, cancel button I will provide in the GUI status. So I will go to the screen number 1000. Here I will say PBO. In this I will create a module. In the OO include. Here I will have GUI status. So I have a set PF status syntax here. Give some status. Double click on this. Create it. So in the function keys, here I will provide back button and cancel button, for example. Save it. Double click on your main program now, right click and activate your program, because we have done almost everything in the program. So right click and activate and see whether some syntactical errors or something is there. When I am getting the data, I have written a select star, but I am getting the data into the work area. So I should say select a single star, right? Because I am getting only one record into the work area. I should say select single star. Delete with where clause, it is not taking it. I'll do one thing, I will provide this delete class. With where class we will see again, maybe in the next class we will discuss more details about this where class. So it's activated. Right click, create a transaction. So here I will say the transaction is m-pool2. Give some description. Give the program name. This is General and M2 and screen number is 1000. Take the support from HTML, Java and Windows. Save it. Your transaction is ready. So now open one more session. And there you can test this transaction. So you can now see student ID if I provide STU01 if I give here. Click on display. It says data not found. For STU01 data is not there. Let us go to the table ST01. There should be a record, right? So let me say ST01. Click on display. And then PU's student class is 1, employee ID, everything is coming up. For example, if I want to clear this, I can clear it. So all the work area is getting cleared. So ST02 record if I want to display, I have displayed Sadiq related record. So tomorrow this Sadiq is going to the third class. I will provide here student class is 3. Then click on update. So database table updated. Okay, good. So let us go to the database and refresh. You can see the student class is updated in the table as 3. Similarly, for example, if you want to give a new record, for example, ST07, some name, student class is a second class, for example, is a child of employee 2, for example, then I will click on update, database updated. Okay, so click on refresh. You can see ST07 related record is updated on the table. Similarly, this record I want to delete from the database table, then click on delete. Then warning message is coming up. It's not deleted, but the warning message is coming. When I press enter, it will delete. When I click on back, still if I don't want to delete, what I can do is I can click on a back button. It will not delete it, but if I press enter, data deleted from the database is coming up. So when I refresh, ST07 record got deleted from the database. Okay, this is how you can design your own screen in the Modulepool. You can create your own buttons and other options. Fine, so we'll close anyway now and then we can continue tomorrow.